Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa Explains It All. Today I am explaining something that has been my most requested tutorial and I finally got around to making it. The dreaded winged eyeliner. Y'all, it's not super hard, but you have to have the right tools and it does take some practice. I'm going to walk you guys through what I like to do and also what other people like to do. And so it just takes practice and you'll figure out what works for you. So if you want to learn about that, stick around and I'll be right back. All right, so there are three main ways, in my opinion, that you can do a winged eyeliner. I've got a few of them here, so I'll just kind of walk through some of them. The easiest one, I think, is to do a pencil. And so just a standard eye crayon pencil. I've got one here, and usually it tends to draw a little bit of a thicker line. Of course, you can sharpen it and, get like a finer point on it. But generally, you're still getting a relatively, thick line. So these do come in a couple different variations. They come in like a waxy kind of a crayon, and they do come in like that pencil that you sharpen. It looks more like a traditional number 2 pencil. So they work fine. Again, if you like a thicker line or if you want to use something for your waterline, I recommend this one. It is the easiest one to do. But if you are looking for like that really sharp, like crisp, like I could cut someone with this edge kind of a wing, then I think that you should probably look at option number 2. So choice number 2, and this is the one that I personally like. It's maybe a medium in terms of difficulty, but if you can get it down, I think this is a really great option. It leaves you a nice sharp line, and it is a liquid liner. And so they come in different kind of variations. I have a few different brands here. If you're looking for something on the higher end side, Kat Von D makes a tattoo liner that I really like. That's a good one. I also like Stila Stay All Day. Waterproof liquid eyeliner. I had to read it upside down. Waterproof eyeliner, so Stila makes a great one. And then if you're looking for drugstore, I actually have found success with the Maybelline Master Precise All Day Liquid Liner, the little pink one that comes like this. So these are the ones that I use. I'll swap through them for different reasons. So these, of course, do have a like felt tip pen type feel to them. And so they're very easy to wear. And of course, you can get a much thinner line. And this is what I like to use every day when I put on my makeup for work. So I do this almost every day. And so that was the Stila one. And this is the Maybelline Master Precise one. Again, not really. I'm kind of loving the Master Precise one. It really does a good job. And then this is the tattoo liner. And now this one is, I've had this one for a little bit, so it's probably fading a little bit. So it is probably on its way out. But as you can see, I mean, the liner is just so much thinner. And if you wanted to go to another option, the option 3 would be a gel liner or a liquid liner that you put on with a brush. And so if you've seen those little angled brushes, they're very small, they're very thin. I don't love this method, and so I don't really have a gel liner that I could recommend to you, but there's certainly ones out there if you want to try it. So that method's done by just taking a little pot of this gel liner and then dipping your brush in it and then applying it with a brush. So again, I just feel like that's kind of, it's too much work, it's too difficult. I'd rather just pick up my little liner and go for it. That's what I'm going to show you guys today. So I'm going to get super close and personal. I have been playing around with pink today, as you can see. I have been playing around with Tati's new palette. I put Poet on here just to kind of see how some of the different finishes wear, and they're cute. I like it. I like pink. What can I say? All right, so let's get close and personal, and I will show you the method that I use for doing liner. Let's do it. So what I like to do is I will start with the inner corner. I will take the liner like all in the inner corner, and I will stop when I get to the middle, and then I actually draw out where I want my wing to be, and then I connect the lines and then fill it in. And so I draw myself kind of like an outline and then just kind of fill it in. So it's not too bad. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to try to keep looking over here to make sure that I am in focus. So first thing I do is I will get really close to the mirror. You want to be able to, make sure your lines are precise. So I will almost close this eye, and I will start in the inner corner and just use like featherlight strokes to kind of start painting like sort of underneath. You're not even coming over top like this. You're really just kind of getting underneath of the lash for now. I do switch to kind of going over because at this point you really start hitting more lashes. You kind of have to sort of switch over to do that. So I'm going to switch over now and try not to get too thick of a line. I'm really just drawing like really light strokes. I'm keeping my brush almost flat because I don't really want to dig in. I just want to kind of keep it, keep my eyelid loose and keep this like level and just kind of almost just drag it along. And so once I get to sort of the middle of my pupil, like there, I'm going to stop and then I will come out to the outer edge and I'm going to draw my other line. And so the way to kind of think about this, and people do this different ways. If you have a hooded eyes, you might want to do a different angle. If you've got like, you know, a different eye shape, you can kind of play around with which angle you like. But some people go out really straight. Some people like to go really up and do like a really extreme angle up. And then some people just like to go out. And the thing is, you can get so many different looks just depending on what angle you're at. Because if you did, you know, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, you know, any angle, it's going to give you a different look. So what I like to do is come out at a straight 45-degree angle from my lower lash line. And so it would be sort of one of like this angle here. I'll start out with, again, not really wanting to like rotate it in so that you're pressing the tip in this way. Keep it sort of rotated this way so that your thumb is kind of facing, you know, your face and that you're keeping it kind of flat. You don't really want to start going too much like this and just drawing it that way. You're going to get a more blunt line, and I think it's more helpful if you just kind of let it drag on. So then I just take my pinky and kind of anchor it on my face a little bit so that you're not like floating out there and you have something to kind of grab onto. And then I put my brush or my felt tip pen exactly kind of where I think my lower lash line should be. And then I will start dragging up a little bit. And this, by the way, gets harder as you get older because there's like wrinkles there. Yay for aging. So you just start dragging it up above here and try to stay out of the wrinkles. Not smiling is key there. And here you can go as far out as you want. So some people, you know, like if you want a less dramatic wing, you can just do like a little baby wing and stop. And some people want a really dramatic wing and they'll go almost all the way out into their eyebrow. I do somewhere in the middle. So I'll stop here kind of when I get to like my crease area, I'll stop. And so now I'm going to pick it back up from the middle and just sort of connect the two. And again, this is variable. So people who really want a bold, dramatic look are really just going to take this like straight out and then color that whole thing in. And some people who want a more conservative look would just follow their lash line down and then only just fill in a little bit like right here. Again, just kind of start with those little light strokes, and then I will start just going straight to sort of connect it. It's time to go ahead and fill it in. So again, you can kind of close most of your eye this way. Make sure you're getting all the way down in there, and be sure to color within the lines. And there are hacks for this. You can do like tape. I've seen Scotch tape where people will put a tape there. I don't usually use those, but you certainly can if you want to. So this is the first wing I've done, just sort of really basic. And then the next one I'll start off with just something a little bit more moderate, like a little bit more conservative, just a smaller one, and then I'll show you how you can kind of build it up. And so for this one, making sure that I'm again in focus here. So I'm going to go ahead and just again start with, and this is harder when you're doing it on the other side, by the way. I think it's harder. So carry yourself around here. And so whereas you were able to just kind of naturally let it glide here, you have to now do it this way. So carry it around and use your face to kind of help anchor. And so I again do just sort of take and start with kind of closing this eye a little bit, and start right in here underneath, just kind of getting almost like tight lining or just like lining the waterline underneath until I start hitting lashes. And then when I start hitting lashes, I will come up above the lash line, and then I will start dragging out until you get to around the middle or so. And then when you get to the middle, you can stop and then you can do your wing. And so I'm gonna do like a little bit more of a conservative one. And you do again want to try to angle it, you know, to where it's maybe like coming out 45 degrees from your water line. So I try to get it fairly flat. And then I'm just gonna do a little baby wing and just start filling it in. And I am going to, instead of trying to go straight across and connecting like this with the outer edge, I'm really just going to follow my lash line and just use small strokes to kind of fill that in. And then when I get to the bottom, then you can sort of fan it out a little bit. You can just fan it out a slight bit. So this is a different kind of a wing. As you can see, it's a little bit more small, conservative, more natural looking. And then of course, if you wanted to do even more bold, you certainly could by just continuing the lash line out or continuing this outer edge out. You could do all the way out if you wanted. And then you would pick this back up from the inner corner. And I would draw a thicker line because usually you're doing lashes with this. So you don't need to worry too much about the thickness of your line, but you could do a thicker line up top too, and that's what that looks like, just thicker on the top. And then connect it out. So you could do one of those where it's got like a long tail, or you could, you know, continue to build it up by building it out from the top. So it depends on what kind of a tail you want on your wing liner too. This is more of a thick tail. And of course there are some imperfections. It's kind of hard to do while talking. Like my cheeks are moving and it like moves my hand and it moves it up. But in general, this is how you do it. And of course you could get it smoother. So that is what a more bold wing would look like. And then of course you have like the medium, and then I've kind of shown you the more conservative. So what style do you like? Tell me below. You know, there's all kinds of things. There's the Amy Winehouse look, which I maybe not recommend, but there is the cat eye, the 60s cat eye kind of look. There's certainly a more conservative look. I think they're all pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my makeup by building this one up to be as bold as that and finishing off with lips and eyes, and I'll be back to show you guys the final look. So there you have it. This is probably too much pink, but I really wanted to try this new color that I got from Ella and Mila. It is called Agent Provocateur, and it is like a velvet matte. It's so pretty in person. It really doesn't probably match like the rest of what I have, but I like it anyway. So this is it. This is the final kind of tutorial for the winged eyeliner. Let me know in the tutorial below if you have a hack or a trick that works for you when applying winged eyeliner and what your favorite method is. And also if you have any suggestions for future videos or other tutorials that you have been wanting to learn about or like to see, I'm happy to make them. So again, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I upload. I try to upload a couple times a week, and I will see you guys next time for the next tutorial. Bye guys.